The New York Knicks have won 10 in a row, and tonight they have a chance to clinch a finals berth.
Don't sweat the technique.
Bridges drives alley-oop, and Robinson with the two-handed slam. Deuce McBride hits the three-pointer. Fakes a three, sidestep, another three-pointer, punts it in. Knicks are red hot once again. It's a 20-point lead. Cavs have let go here. Like the hope is disappearing right now. Another turnover. Anunoby, Brunson, alley-oop.
When they sweat the technique.
And Anunoby with the slam.
Believe it, Knicks fans, the New York Knicks are going to the NBA Finals.
All right, so we don't know who the Knicks will play in the finals. Our analytics have projections as of this moment based on who they played. The Knicks would be a very, very slim favorite against San Antonio and a slightly more significant underdog if they get OKC.
I like our analytics. Ours.
Is our analytics team
we like
ours?
It's
Okay.
ESPN.
Yes, yeah.
Well, we are ESPN, and ESPN has the analytics team, and they're the ones who are saying it. So it is our analytics.
We're just talking about that compared to other NBA analytics teams.
Like we like those versions.
Oh, I
like
see what you mean. You're talking about Cleveland and Kenny Atkinson's analytics. I know.
51% represents the fact that if they do play the Spurs, just give them the trophy.
Yeah, based upon that.
The expected result, right?
Might as well already have a parade.
Actually, Kenny Atkinson says that based upon the analytics, Game 5 is tomorrow night at Madison Square Garden. So that series still has not concluded yet. I don't mean to make fun because I understand. I think that what he said was taken out of context, but you still can't say it out loud because once words get said, they can't be unsaid. And now they're out there and they are
There's a lot of
what
words
they are.
last night
Okay,
being said.
let's dive into all this again. New audience joining us here, bottom of the hour. Obviously, the celebration is on, and it is mind-boggling. When you take a look, I mean, Wendy, there's actually a reasonable question on the screen. This Knicks playoff run is historic. Now, people will diminish it because of the competition they've played, which I would say is A, probably real, B, not their fault. They've just played whoever was in their way. But the reality is we've been watching this game a long time. I've never seen anybody bulldoze their way to an NBA final the way this team just has.
Right. In the NBA is 80 years old, basically. It's one of the greatest 11-game runs in any section of any season. Now, it will be a footnote if the Knicks don't win 4 more games. But I spent the second half last night because what was going on in the court was not relevant. I spent the whole second half texting with other head coaches, with general managers, with scouts, and I was saying to them, hey, what do we think about this next round here? And pretty much down the line, and I would say that the Knicks will be considered, like the analytics say, slight underdogs. They will be underdogs against both teams, I believe, even against the Spurs, depending on who's upright, because I don't know who's going to be upright after potentially 3 more games. So let's just put it that way. But absolutely, the Knicks at the start of this postseason were not a team that people thought were a serious threat to win the championship. They are a serious threat to win the championship. They have blown everybody away. And more than their talent level, their togetherness. So if they were beating these teams that were subpar by 5 points, that would be one thing. They're beating them by 25, 30, 40, 50. That is a domination. And when you dominate, you're a championship level team, and they are.
3 things I'm curious to get both your opinions on. Number 1, shout out to Jay Wright and the Villanova Wildcats for getting the job done. Championship culture travels from Villanova to the Knicks. Number 2, Worldwide West deserves a shout out for what he's done corralling this organization, bringing together. And number 3, are we going to do a halfway maybe applause for Jim Dolan for staying out of the way? It's just an interesting conversation to be had as we're approaching the NBA Finals. You're talking about 4 games away. I was curious if New York Knicks fans are starting, is that in the back of your mind that you don't want to address because of all the stuff in the past, that now you're sitting there willing to say, I don't know, maybe?
Well, to tell the truth, he tried to stay out of the way with Phil Jackson, but then Phil Jackson happened, and it was like, nope, somebody's got to step in and stop that because it didn't work out. So he'd been trying to stay out of the way. He had to hire the right person. He found the right person in Leon Rose, and everything from there has built to this moment. But
No, so you're not going to give him one of those halfway?
No, I
Are you going to give him one of those?
I think you
I should hear somebody in New York. Nobody in New York said it yet.
I argue that the best thing that happened was building the Sphere to distract for a little bit, a couple years, to be able to focus on the hoops.
No, look,
thank him, thank the
You got to
Sphere.
give credit where credit is due. I mean, a lot of people have to get a lot of things right for this to wind up where it is. It doesn't erase everything that's happened before.
Of course not.
But it's certainly, you have to give credit where it is due, particularly in this regard. If you had said last year when they lost that Game 7 to Indiana, here's the two things that are going to happen. They're going to fire Tom Thibodeau, and they're going to make no consequential personnel changes. And next year at this time, they're going to rampage into the finals looking like an unstoppable force. You would have gotten laughed out of pretty much any room, and yet that's exactly what's happened. So you got to give them credit for that.
Don't even go back to last year. Go back to January. Tell me this in January, and it would be the same thing, because this was a team that was still trying to figure itself out with a new head coach and a system that not everybody really understood, not everybody grasped. And Mike Brown kept saying, just stick with it. Trust me, tinkering throughout the whole season until something just clicked. And this 11-game stretch is not one of the most dominating runs. It is literally the most dominating 11-game runs in the history of the NBA, regardless of playoffs or regular season.
It is.
262 points, point differential. That's insane. 23.8 points per game average winning total in 11 games. No one's ever done that. No team. It doesn't matter who. The 87 Lakers, go back to some of the greatest offensive teams you've ever seen. Doesn't happen, which is why the idea, and there you go right there, 89 Lakers, sorry.
Yeah.
The point about it being, the easy road, the Knicks are making it look like an easy road.
Yeah.
You can, like Wendy said, you can beat teams by 5 or 6 and say, yeah, they had easy opponents. But when you're blowing them out, no one blows out teams like this in the playoffs. Close out games on the road. In the Jalen Brunson era, they have 8 opportunities to close out a series on the road. They've won 6 of them now.
Yeah.
And they've won
Large and loud results from small tweaks, which is why you have to truly applaud the small decisions that have gone a long way. Some of them being, I think the poster child for this is Karl Anthony Towns. Small decisions that have gone a long way. Some of them being, I think the poster child for this is Karl Anthony Towns. The way I'm gonna drive and dunk it. Instead, in the middle of the playoffs, they have had a revitalization, a renaissance with his skill set. Through the passing, he's averaging a highest assist, I think 6 assists in the postseason, being a facilitator, something that people thought was not possible at this time and at this level. A small tweak that went a very long way. And I'm not gonna lie, this is a city of Broadway. He likes the theatrics with it.
Little bit.
He's like, I can pass now, I got triple doubles, let me palm this ball, let me throw it like this, let me show you what I got. But it's not just him. I remember, was it in March or was it in April, where Mikal Bridges had a 7-game streak where he didn't score. He probably had 0 points.
It was in April.
It was in April. He didn't score. Now he's knocking down the requisite open shots. OG Anunoby has been the best player on the floor for certain games when they try to take away Jalen Brunson. Landry Shamet is shooting great from 3.
He missed 1 3.
1 3. He had the largest applause
Yeah.
in Cleveland after the win because of his small contributions that people value.
In the month of April, the Mikal Bridges trade was a bust. The coach was getting fired, and Karl Anthony Towns was getting traded for Giannis. In the month of May, the Knicks were unbeaten. They didn't lose a game they will not lose a game because they won't play now until June 3rd. So they did not lose a game in the month of May, and they made people quit. I want to show you this. This was Charles Barkley after the game, after the Cavs folded up their tent. This was Chuck summoning his inner Noah Webster. Let's see it.
Kids at home, if you want to see what the word quit means,
Oh, come on, Chuck.
to give up, the verb of that is Cavaliers.
Oh, come on.
Players ain't going to say they're going to quit, but you know what shows? Their actions.
So that was at halftime. I forgive myself there. That was at halftime that Charles Barkley.
It's a 19-point game at halftime.
Yeah, look, I mean, but the point is, I don't even blame. Look, you're supposed to fight to the end, and I get it, and you do, and whatever. But at some point, at some point, Wendy, was it you who once said to me, at some point in a playoff series, someone said this to me, and I've always remembered it. At some point in a playoff series, both teams know which is the better team. And that moment probably arrived in Game 2 of this series. Certainly by halftime of Game 4, it was patently obvious, not only to those of us watching, but to everybody playing.
Yeah, we haven't talked a lot about the game, but I will say this. The Knicks had 26 fast break points in the first half. Okay? There are teams that will go through the whole season, and that will be their high. They'll play 82 games, and they'll have that one magical night where they ran and they got 26 points for the game. They had it in the half. The Knicks were routinely scoring in fast break after the Cavs made baskets because they smelled blood in the water, and they're like, well, we're just going to outrun you. And yes, there was some fatigue factor from the Cavs, but that did not explain this. The Knicks just absolutely brought them to their knees, and that is what happened. Before the end of the first half, the Cavs stopped running. And there's no other way to say that you've given up than when you stopped running.
All right, so where do the Cavs go from here? That's one of the questions that we will answer. Do they bring back James Harden? Do they run it behind Donovan Mitchell? Do they try and make some sort of a big trade and shake things up? We'll answer those, but I want to show you history that was made last night. Wake-up call.